Welcome to Above the Garage.
Hi, friends. Welcome to our analysis of Your Honor Season 2, Episode 4. We will do our quick round of introductions because Raquel was unavailable today, and then dive in.
Hi, I'm Scarlett.
Hi, I'm Kimberly.
And I'm Kate. So this episode, which is entitled Part 14. I like that. I like the episode titles because I can remember them really easily.
Very creative.
Yes. I believe they would have named it Birthday Party if it had names.
Yes.
Directed by Darren Grant and written by Aaliyah Brown, who I think she's very funny because for such heavy material, she managed some good jokes in this episode I liked.
Yeah.
Agree.
So episode opens with Michael and Jimmy in a car. I guess binging The Bachelor together at Fia's was really fun because now they're hanging out some more. And Jimmy is nervously inviting Michael to his birthday party. In all seriousness, what do you think Jimmy and Michael and Fia would watch together? Something serious, right? Maybe like A Few Good Men.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. You can't handle the truth.
Exactly. Jimmy is also whistling Happy Birthday, which I enjoy considering the entire episode is about his birthday. And I also couldn't identify it at first. So our friend Claudia helped, which is really funny that I couldn't identify Happy Birthday.
It was just such a gloomy version that I didn't even catch it at first. I was like,
yeah.
Oh.
As Michael's getting out of the car, Jimmy drops his larger ask or demand, depending how you see it. Why don't you bring Charlie Figaro as your guest? The mayor. It's a big request. Stupid. Don't do it. Olivia's psyched because, as usual, she's like following him and appears out of nowhere. And I assumed he was wired up, but later on, it seems like she didn't know about the party invite, so she's just following him.
No.
Yeah, just like also Michael asked, how did Jimmy know that he was living in his mother-in-law's house? So everybody's following Michael.
Yeah. Everybody knows everything about Michael's life.
Yeah.
He just needs to accept that as fact.
The shot of Jimmy and Michael in the back seat through the rear view mirror made me laugh so much because they just looked so happy. I was like, oh, this is lovely.
They both have excellent frowny faces.
Yeah, they really do.
Very funny. I like how much they've been like together in the show so far this season.
Yeah, they're great.
Then Eugene's hiding the duffel bag of money under the bed where Lil Mo's phone is still ringing off the hook, and we're magically transported to the person calling him incessantly, Big Mo. She kind of seems more annoyed than worried to me, but who's to say? Probably a lot of both. Did you guys have a read on that?
Annoyed.
I couldn't tell, but I think as we watch on, I think we know.
Yeah, right. Back at home, Michael's drinking water again, and I feel like we've seen him drinking a lot of water this season. I don't know if I'm correct in that or not, but it just seems familiar, and it's strange to me, but maybe it's just a sign he's nourishing his body again. You think it's all because of the feeding tube?
I was going to say his throat's probably like just still raw from being tube fed.
Repeatedly, like
with not much lube.
You've mentioned that. You don't think there was enough lube?
No, I think there wasn't enough lubrication for Michael's throat with that tube.
I don't know. There really is a lot of, because later in the episode he's pouring water again.
Now that you've said water, that just reminds me when he told that guy last season, Carlo's friend, about drinking the water on the stand, and he drugged it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Wow, it's been a theme through the whole show, drinking water. Maybe someone's gonna get waterboarded. We shall see. Anyway, Olivia just happens to be in the neighborhood, so she drops by, and we learn mother-in-law Liz is back in Baton Rouge being a senator. Michael's feeding Django. It looks like he's fully moved out of the pantry, even in Liz's absence. And you know what I was thinking about Django that's cool? He's the only friend in Michael's life whose opinion has not changed of him whatsoever, like despite all the crazy shit that's happened in the past, 14 episodes. Dogs are the best. He still loves Michael exactly as he did before all this started. Back to Shitty Humans. Olivia tells him he's gonna bring Charlie to the party, and he's like, no, bitch. I agreed to help you protect Charlie. Taking him to the Baxters is the literal opposite of protecting him, but she promises him Charlie will be fine, which is rich because she has absolutely no control over that.
I liked Olivia's line where she says, you think he wants to use you as a piñata?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, he probably would. Candy would just fall right out.
I mean, he almost does at the end of the episode, right?
Ooh, you're right. Yeah.
Then Auntie Sheila is getting a call from the Harris County Jail, and it looks like a call she may have gotten before. She's not happy about it. Trey begs her to bail him out. and tells her he's just in there because he and his cousin had words, but she's no dummy and she wants to know what they had words over. And she tells him she's got a lot of things to do today and bailing your behind out of jail ain't one of them. And he very rudely hangs up on his mother. If I were him, I think a please think about it, mama approach might have been a wiser way to go, but he disagreed. And then Trey and Lil Mo trade some insults, and Lil Mo uses his call to call Eugene, just telling him he's got to guard that bag. It's got his life in it. No pressure, Eugene.
Yeah. She takes no shit, and she sees right through what they did or what they've done. She knows there's more happening. But she also seems really sweet at the same time.
I know. I like her a lot too. My only fault is she should have stepped in sooner because she knew what was going on before all this, you know?
Yeah, probably.
I don't think she had any control over it, but when she received the call, I was thinking she probably received that call because we know he served jail time for them as well.
Yeah.
And throughout the episode, we know that that's pretty much why Sheila and Big Mo have no relationship whatsoever.
Yeah.
I liked her approach. Like, I'm not bailing you out of jail. You stay in there and think about what you did.
Yeah.
Very tough love, kind of.
And she held the line on that, like, impressively. Eugene finds Aunt Shirley in the kitchen staring at her phone, and he retells the story they just got in a fight. When Roderick, the 20-kilo dealer, comes to the door looking for Trey, it is striking how scary he looks now compared to the harmless looking fellow that we met on the Little League field.
Yeah.
Mike Seal plays Roderick, and he pulls that off beautifully because I did not feel he was threatening in the last episode, and now I'm terrified of him. Sheila quickly learns that Roderick is after Trey, but she tells him Trey doesn't live here, and Roderick tells her he already checked his apartment. So Sheila can tell her son is in deep shit, but she's a good mom, and she tells him to get the fuck out, not before he pushes past her into the kitchen and dumps Eugene's bag on the floor, which is luckily just filled with school stuff, like Eugene told him.
Eugene looked so worried. I was like, what's in that backpack?
Yeah.
Something bad's in there. And then I was just like, why are you looking so suspicious when there's nothing in there?
I bet you'd be pretty worried in that situation too.
Yeah, true. Mm-hmm. But I loved when Aunt Sheila just told him to get the fuck out. I was like, yeah, go Sheila.
I know. I really love Sheila a lot.
Me
love
too.
Sheila. I also love the principal. I think she's really nice. I don't know if we'll see her anymore though, because I'm not sure Eugene's going back to school. And now for an actual lighthearted scene, kind of. Olivia's brought her tailor to Michael's, and the tailor plays his initial reaction of wordless shock at Michael's appearance perfectly. The tailor is played by Drew Droog. I am for sure butchering that, but I've seen him in other stuff. I know, and he's funny, and I like him in this role. By the way, why does she have a tailor? She's a federal agent. I did not have the impression she was wealthy. What is going on with this woman?
Maybe it's just like someone who works with.
Yeah, I guess they would need to dress undercover agents well. So maybe somebody works for the feds. That makes sense. I can accept that. And she must trust him too because she talks in front of him. She tells Michael Jimmy is over leveraged, and Michael observes that she's grasping at straws. He knows a strong case when he sees it, and this ain't one. She compares him to a racing horse, calling him a mutter, a horse that does well when the conditions are shit. Methinks Olivia might have herself a bit of a gambling problem. But my favorite part of the episode is the tailor, after dressing Michael, who looks otherwise very smart in his new suit. The tailor makes a general gesture at the hair situation and asks what's going on here. Olivia generously compares him to Albert Einstein, mad genius look. But the tailor gets real. Who likes Saddam Hussein? Hiding in a hole. But he also added hiding in a hole. So funny. Great writing, great delivery. And much like Pia, I also can't see him any other way now, except Saddam Hussein hiding in a hole.
You mentioned the gambling problem, and I started thinking that as well. Maybe that's why she got demoted,
Yeah, I think it has something to do with her motivation, and I couldn't figure out what exactly, but I agree that makes sense. Yeah, because she was at the bar in she's at the bar in the second episode talking about covering.
Yeah.
Then Auntie Sheila gets a call from her sister and goes from 60 to 0 in an instant, asking who's died, because it turns out they haven't spoken in 10 years. I wonder if that's when Trey got put away. I would assume so. Figured that's why they weren't speaking. Big Mo says she can't find Little Mo, and Sheila tells him he's with Trey, that Monique got those boys in trouble again. Was it for drugs or money this time? Because she knows it was one of them. Big Mo acts offended that she went there. Just silly.
Shocking.
And Sheila warns her one more time she better stay away from her son before hanging up. Again, I love Sheila here, and I'm not loving Big Mo. I'm loving Big Mo's like delivery. Okay, I'm loving Andreen, the actress. I like her lines and her delivery and everything, but Big Mo is a real bitch to her family.
Yeah. That's the thing that called my attention in this episode. I'm like, oh, she knows that they're in trouble.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem to care, which is,
Which started when she told him to pull out of the drug deal at the last minute. Like, everybody knows that that's gonna get them in a lot of trouble or death, right? So you want the bar more than you want your nephews. That's fucked up.
Did you notice that Big Mo wasn't dressed like she normally dressed in this episode? She was more like...
yeah, she's wearing like sweats at home or something. Like an interesting outfit at home. I can picture it now. I thought it was interesting to see her home. Her home was like very normal, nice. I don't know. It was cool to see her home.
Yeah. Usually we see her dressed up. She's got rings on, she's got jewelry on. Yeah, and this episode we saw her a bit more like casual.
She was comfy.
Comfy casual.
I liked it. I also hope we find out what happened to the third sister, Little Mo's mom, though. I fear it won't be very uplifting.
Yeah.
I don't think she's on vacation in Hawaii.
No.
Now Charlie and Michael are brunching together, and Charlie's being adorable, as usual, basking in the joy of just being with his friend again. And then he's even more delighted when Michael invites him to a birthday party. This episode's very funny. Until he tells him which one, and we get an exciting reveal I wasn't even expecting when Michael tells Charlie he's got a grandkid. For some reason, I'd not realized this was coming. I guess I'd assumed he knew somehow. Yeah, so you did too?
Yeah, same.
I thought that was the only way to get him to go to the party, actually.
Yeah, well, he still doesn't need to go to the fucking party. He can meet the son some other time. This is dumb. Yeah, but it was very shocking for Charlie and fun for us. Charlie's fuck me.
That was so funny. The way Isaiah said that, it was made me laugh.
And then his joke about it being his fault outside is funny too, because he got Adam condoms who didn't show him how to use them. Made me laugh.
Damn, that was an oversight.
Yeah. I would think that would be enough too, Charlie. Don't blame yourself.
I love the shot as well through the diner window when they go outside the diner, and that's when he makes that joke. It's such a cool shot.
Yeah, I like that. It seems Jimmy's spending his birthday trying to get his friends to go to his party, and it's Via's turn. When she opens the door, he tells her, "Today's my birthday," all cutely. He just wants his little girl to come to his birthday party. As an added persuasion, he tells her he invited Adam's father, and she throws him an okay before closing the door. And you can just feel how frustrated he is that he doesn't know how to get her back to the close relationship that they had before, which they talk about later in the episode.
Yeah, it made me sad.
Yeah, made me sad too, because like in the first season they were so close, it seemed like, and now they're just like so far apart. But I thought that was a nice relationship in that family.
Right.
It made me sad all the way till like a little further down the episode. Then I was just like, douche.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him because she's all that he has, right? Like he has nothing with Gina. Carlo is Gina's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, though, to get her back, you basically have to leave the crime family business, which I don't think is actually something he could do even if he wanted to, but he wouldn't anyway, right? I don't think he could do what's necessary, so I don't think she's coming back to him.
I think if he even tried to do something, Gina would probably get someone to murder him, so.
Right. Yeah. Interesting that they're both kind of childless at the moment. So Aunt Sheila was either sufficiently upset by Big Mo or Roderick or both, or she'd always planned on taking her lunch break at the county jail with Trey and Little Mo. And she reminds Little Mo that she said she'd take Eugene in only as long as trouble didn't come with him. And then she asks why Roderick was snooping around her house this morning, and they're both scared, knowing that he was there already. Little Mo promises if she gets him out, this will never happen again. This episode is full of people making lofty promises that they would never do. But she leaves the jail alone. Way to stick to your guns, Aunt Sheila. Impressed.
The two of you are back on your bullshit.
Yeah, but don't celebrate too much because we immediately see that Roderick 2.0 is waiting outside in his truck and he follows her. Did y'all think she was going to die at this point? I did, for sure. And I was really sad.
I totally thought she was going to die. And I was like, oh my God, if the show kills Aunt Sheila, I'm going to be really mad.
Thought it was her and Eugene. They were both going to die.
Yeah. Anyway, she doesn't die. Yay. Then Carlo's flirting up a storm with the concierge, and we get confirmation he does have an actual job at the hotel, which surprises me. He works security, so that's why he was in front of all the security cameras in the last episode.
Yeah, remember last week we were joking about it, how he's probably working security, and we weren't even being serious, but he is actually working security.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised they would bother making him clock in and out of a job, to be honest, but
gives him something to do, like maybe stay out of the the druggies. I don't know.
Right. Makes sense.
A parenting lesson from Jimmy. I mean,
Yeah, maybe.
responsibility.
Right. He really impressed me with his recall on who was in the lobby and all the suspicious details before she put that up.
Was he being serious?
No, but I thought he was.
He was very convincing.
I know. I've seen that in other movies or shows. I can't think of what right now.
The Bourne Identity.
Okay, that's what I was like. I was picturing Matt Damon doing it. And so, yes, that must be Bourne Identity.
The entitled line he throws her way, like, what is it that he says? And there's somebody that a good looking guy. I don't remember the line, but I was like, he's so full of shit.
Yeah.
And she's like, ha ha ha. I'm like, ew, girl, no.
Yeah. Yeah, she's into him. Then fucking Gina shows up and breaks up their party. And she only takes him like 10 feet away from a woman's desk when she warns him not to slum it, not quietly. And she waxes poetic about her papa. So she probably had a fucked up relationship with him too. And Carlo says he has that with her. I mean, he didn't say the fucked up part, but I'm saying it. And then they have a weird forehead touch. And she walks out.
This relationship
It's weird.
It's so weird. And like, she gives the concierge such an evil look after they walk off, and
I know. I would
she's
leave
like
that job. I wouldn't want to
stroking his shoulders. I don't know. I guess moms can do that to their sons and all that, but to me, their relationship is just weird.
It's very.
It looks creepy.
Yeah.
It looks creepy.
Yeah,
I agree.
it does look really creepy. And then when he's like, "It's okay, I have that with you," and I was like, no.
And I'm pretty sure she heard it, you know, like you said. I'm pretty sure the girl heard, like, don't slum it. Like, she's below them.
I mean, she wanted that girl to hear that too.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she even pulled him aside.
She thinks Carla deserves what, like a princess or something.
Crime princess, yeah. From another
someone like her.
Yeah, yes. That's probably what she envisions for him.
Anyway, back home at Liz's, Michael's got a soup box waiting for him on the grand piano. So fancy, these people. And a phone's ringing from inside it. Lots of phones ringing inside of things. Olivia's programmed herself as his bestie in his phone, in his new phone. And she's nagging him about his +1, but Fia's walking up the walkway. Surprise visit, I guess, without Rocco. And Michael pours some more water to drink. Fia's understandably upset and confused why Michael's coming to her dad's party. She would just like to have one person in her life that she can trust. Best keep looking, Fia. She warns him that bad things happen when they're around, and he points out that bad things happen when he's around too. And now Michael has a rare moment of vanity that Taylor's really hurt his feelings. There's a shot of his reflection in the window before he asks her if she sees Saddam Hussein when she looks at him. And Fia jokes that now that he said it, that's all she can see, before she sets about cutting it for him. I wonder how long it took Bryan to grow that mane, though. I'm sure it felt great coming off. He looks good, but I wonder how long it took to grow all that.
I like that. I mean, we see it on the next scene that I thought they were going to clean him up like the way he looked in season 1, and they didn't. They left that, you know, it's still a different person. So I really enjoyed that change. And I thought it was a nice scene between both of them, you know, especially when she says that line that you said, I just want someone to trust, because you see how she's relating more to Michael instead of her family, which obviously we'll see how that ends up.
Oh God, the day that she finds out about like Adam killing Rocco, like the bomb's gonna explode.
I know, I keep forgetting that she doesn't even know that Adam killed Rocco. She does not have anybody that she can trust.
No, apart from maybe the baby, and even then the baby spews on you, so.
Now dirty cop Rudy's back. He's figured out the DL on the boys, and he tells Big Mo that Lil Mo hit a cop. Not smart. She's not impressed though, and orders Rudy to get him out of jail. And they're both getting very tired of each other. God, I do love the Big Mo-isms though. Lil Mo's in jail, and he needs to not be right now. And then she turns and asks her crew which one's the fastest driver.
She has balls too. It's like, give me more money. Like, okay.
She doesn't have any money at the moment. Wait, please.
Yeah, I still want to know how much money is in that duffel.
I know. Can't they just reveal how much money is in that thing so we can stop thinking about it?
Now to the birthday party. Jimmy's party is in full swing when Michael gets there. As Jimmy approaches Michael, Fia appears out of nowhere to intercept him, telling him that he looks like a new person. And Jimmy compliments the barber, and Fia takes credit. That would be me, actually. And Jimmy's so hurt. What he wouldn't give for her to cut his hair. But he plays it off and says, looks like he's been overpaying for years. And he has like a very, I say adorable too much, but he had a very adorable, genuine laugh after he says it. I love this actor.
I actually felt sorry for him. I was like, oh man.
I know. And his white tux and her red dress reminded me of Al Pacino and Scarface. And the whole birthday cake scene reminds me of something I could not put my finger on, but it's great party.
It was a little Great Gatsby-ish, the party.
Yeah.
Old school back in the day.
Definitely like 20s-esque. Yeah, Great Gatsby's a good call. Gina spots Michael. I can't believe Jimmy didn't think it would be wise to give her a heads up. But maybe he's trying to hurt her with this. I don't know. Anyway, she immediately flies over to her boy Carlo, and they go over together to kick Michael out. But Michael points out Jimmy invited him. And as Jimmy's been proudly telling us all day, it's Jimmy's birthday.
Yeah, it's just crazy to me that Gina like seemingly knows nothing about anyone seeing Michael.
I know, that is funny. Even Carlo's like, oh yeah, how do you not know that? We've all had many conversations with him.
I'm surprised that Carlo actually didn't tell her, but maybe he was just not to, because he knew how she would react.
He's probably scared, yeah.
I wouldn't tell her.
It's just funny, like what was he gonna, like Michael, Jimmy was just planning on giving the whole speech where Michael comes up, and Gina would have been like, oh wow, Michael's here, yay.
Yeah.
At that point, I don't think Jimmy really cared. He had his plan already set.
Yeah. The music in that scene as well was so loud, like, and menacing. It sounded like it was so intense. It was great to go with that scene with Gina, especially.
Yeah, I noticed it later too, after the new power player meeting.
Yeah.
Michael knows when he's not welcome, and he goes to the bathroom to call Olivia and bail. Of course, she doesn't let him, and he realizes suddenly that she's heard every word of his conversations with the Baxters. So he starts going through his suit, trying to find the mic, which is very cleverly made in the shape of a collar stay. Although, I guess it's not that clever, since Frankie looks there later.
Is it weird that I never knew that was a thing?
I swear to God, I was waiting. Like, as I'm writing my notes, I'm like, Kimberly's going to say she doesn't know what a collar stay is. And then I continue writing my notes, and then you did it, and I'm so happy.
I'd never heard or seen of that before. They just look like little stabby things that come out. Like, what are they for?
They make your collar more structured. Yeah, it looks nicer.
Are they stabby?
No,
they're plastic and not sharp. No, you can have metal ones.
Interesting.
Olivia just slipped when she said, don't worry about what Gina said. That was her mistake. That's how he noticed that. It's because he didn't tell her. So that was smart on his part.
I assumed he was wired and he knew it before the scene, and then I realized, oh no, she put it in the suit. He didn't seem to destroy it though, did he? Did I miss something? I thought he was going to run it underwater or something, but he had this moment. Yeah. He just had this moment of like extreme stress with his hands on his face, and then he leaves holding it on top of his phone, right?
That's what I saw.
But he must have turned it off somehow, because Olivia hears it go out and she's pissed. But first it looks like her horse lost. She's watching the horse races again, and the look on her face looked like this loss was a real problem to me, not like your casual gambler, but maybe I'm reading too much into it. What were your guys' thoughts?
I don't know if it was that she was upset because she realized Michael found the device, or I just have this thought that maybe, I think I mentioned it before, that the reason she got demoted from New York was because she has a gambling problem. And if you have a gambling problem, you get your money from people that you're not supposed to be associated if you're a DA. Yeah, maybe that's why she's there. Maybe that's her problem, but that's just my assumption. I don't know. They haven't really talked about it.
She was sad, like the moment before he did whatever he did with the college day. Like she was sad when the horse race finished. So it was initially a reaction to that, and then obviously made worse by him. Like
you said earlier, Kate, she was also in the previous episode watching the game.
Right.
And she'd obviously bet on it, so that does make sense, Scarlett, that probably could be why, because I would think that they wouldn't show us that kind of stuff if we didn't, if it wasn't kind of important to her story.
Right, and definitely not regularly, right? When Michael comes out, Charlie's walking into the party. Bad move, Charlie, because he can visit the baby any other day. The optics of this are absolutely terrible, and everybody knows it. And Jimmy quickly takes advantage of that after blowing out his birthday candles, and I love the birthday cake shots. They're so good.
Yeah, it's great with the sparklers in front of his face.
Anyway, for his toast, he surprises everyone by first spotlighting Michael and then calling Charlie down to the spotlight. The phrasing of Jimmy introducing the newest member of the family was so funny, because everybody's expecting him to introduce baby Rocco or announce baby Rocco, including Carlo and Fia, but nope, Michael's the newest member of Jimmy's family. And see, Gina, like Jimmy's not as much of an idiot as you think. He's got game. This is a power move.
Yeah.
She does not acknowledge it as such. And after this power play, we have a new player joining the scene. Gina's dad, Carmine Conti, played by Mark Margulies.
Yay!
I know, he's great.
I'm so happy to see Salamanca. I was like, this is great. I love him.
You've been waiting episode after episode. I also love him. And he's like talking again.
And it's so funny how he actually kind of like he looks younger now than he did in Breaking Bad, obviously, because they made him look so old in Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Like Jimmy makes sure to get this moment immortalized by the photographer, of course, for the front page tomorrow. And Carmine tells him he's always thrilled to meet the city's power brokers and threatens them that he's looking forward to the wonderful things they will do together. Cue the eerie horror music.
Yeah, that was an amazing power play, like you said, especially with a picture, mayor.
Right. Mob boss. Yeah.
It was so funny when they showed just Jimmy and Michael standing there, and Michael's face was just like, what the hell is happening right now?
Yeah.
Like, really, seriously, what's going on? And then when Charlie went up there and then the four of them were up there, I was just like, wow, this is funny.
Such a bad, stupid move, Charlie.
I guess he was supporting Michael, his bestie, so.
It's just really stupid. Maybe he's not the smartest. He knew it was stupid. But he is like very sweet and like loyal to his friend, you know? Like,
yeah.
Michael's pretty supersedes his intelligence, it seems.
I would be very surprised if Michael, like, I know that he's working with Olivia now, but he really has no choice. But I would really be surprised if he fucks Charlie over in any way on purpose anyway.
Right.
No, I don't think on purpose.
Well, he did just fuck him over on purpose, but he's not trying to fuck him over. I agree.
No.
In that scene also, Jimmy was smart because he's talking about how Charlie was Adam's godfather and how he could possibly be Rocco's godfather. So that's also a little bit more of a push of pulling him to where Jimmy wants him. So like he played everybody beautifully, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And now Little Mo's getting out of prison, but not Trey. Jail guard advises him to get himself some better friends. This is also fucked up. They fucked Trey over so bad. And he's also Monique's nephew, so you'd think she'd get him out for that. Or for her sister. Yeah. But nope.
Or offer protection.
Yeah. But even the guys that pick up Little Mo aren't being very cool. They tell Little Mo this ain't no courtesy call. Big Mo's not happy. Little Mo calls Eugene to warn him they're coming and he needs to get the fuck out of there. Because they think he's dead and they'll tell Big Mo.
What I thought was interesting was that obviously Little Mo is Big Mo's nephew, but it's almost like Chris and Russell, the two side guys, would kind of intimidate him and like possibly like kill him.
Yeah, they pull out their gun later.
Yeah, that's what it made me feel like. And also, later when we see them at Aunt Sheila's house. And I was like, damn, Big Mo is like, I'm really struggling with her feelings right now towards her nephews.
I know. It's really, really, really messed up. But like you said, like they should be friends with him. They should at least feel bad for him, but they don't. Yeah.
And when the call went to Eugene's message bank, I was like, damn, this is not good. I actually thought something worse was going to happen at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I didn't think it was going to end the way it did. And then we're going to see in with Gina and her papa. She called him because every day she's more and more worried that the direction of his family. And her papa reassures her that that's why he's here. What does he say in Italian, Scarlett?
Me ne prenderò cura, which is I'll take care of it.
I'm glad you understood that because when I looked at the subtitles, it just said speaking in Italian or something. I was like, yeah, that's helpful to me.
That's not helpful.
I got a bad feeling that something's going to happen to Jimmy.
Well, you know Jimmy's a bad guy, right?
I know he's a bad guy, but I kind of don't want him to die.
I know. Same.
Yeah. Well, we were wondering like how Jimmy and Gina got together, but obviously Gina is a daughter of this crime boss, you know, because Charlie mentions to Michael like he hasn't been in New Orleans for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Why is Jimmy important? Why is his family important? Where did they meet? You know, like I get her role.
Yeah. I think they're mob like they married into each other, kind of like what Gina wants to follow. Yeah. Merged two families together.
And Michael and Charlie are watching them, Gina and Carmine talk. Michael said he figured Carmine was dead, and Charlie says he's been living on some island off the coast of Italy since the 90s. Is that island Sicily? I assume it's some other island, if you would have said so.
I bet he's living in a really nice house.
Oh, for sure. And then Fia comes up and apologizes to Charlie and Michael, and Charlie's his sweet self and says, don't you worry about that. Just let me see that baby soon. And she shows him an adorable picture, and then he leaves to give them some space.
I just felt so bad for Fia because she was so embarrassed.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jimmy's trying to build his relationship with his daughter, but he just pushed her farther away with that.
Yeah, he's making it worse. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
And like you said, they were saying about how Carmine hasn't been to New Orleans since the 90s. So I was like, damn, this really isn't good.
No, not at all. It gave me the impression that Carmine knew what Jimmy was going to do, because he also played into the part like, oh, I'm excited to see like the power players and the good things that we can do. So Carmine was on board with whatever Jimmy was doing. Yeah,
you're right. I wonder if they had talked or if you just liked the move that he made.
I think they talk. Like, it just gave me the impression that Gina is not, obviously Jimmy and Gina don't talk, but her mind is somewhere else, like, why is Michael there? So she's not seeing the bigger picture. So I don't know how that's going to play out.
Yeah, she's too busy staying in angry.
Well, that's where she flourishes.
Yeah, well, maybe it doesn't seem she's flourishing right now because she just seems like out of everybody's loop.
Yeah.
It bothers me that Gina gives Jimmy no credit here because, that was a really good move. But immediately afterwards, she's complaining about him to her dad. So I really hate Gina. I may not have mentioned it yet.
I think we've mentioned it maybe once before.
Okay, just the once. It bears repeating.
It does.
Jimmy sees Michael comforting Fia from afar, and the smile melts right off his face. Michael's got everything Jimmy wants. The jealousy is palpable.
Yeah.
More great acting on Michael's part. And then little Mo approaches Sheila's house. The door's been broken. You see her crying at the table with her head in her hands, and it's so fucking sad. And everything is just trash. She screams at him to get out of her house, but first he goes to look under the bed and the money's gone. His friend pulls out his gun, I guess ready for Big Mo's order to shoot little Mo, but instead she says she's got a pretty good idea where the money's at as she sees Eugene in a hoodie at her front door with her back. She looks around to make sure nobody saw him and shuts the door.
That shot of Eugene walking up in his hoodie was great when he was just walking up to the door. I was wondering how he was going to end up back with Big Mo or in New Orleans. So I think they did a really good job.
I think he feels that he owes little Mo. So when he called them from the jail and said, my life's in that bag, Eugene did everything that he could, even risked himself to go back to New Orleans to save his life because that's what little Mo did for him. Obviously, it's not going to end well for, I don't think for both of them, but I thought it was interesting.
I feel like Eugene did it to like buy his life back. I don't feel like he did it for little Mo, but that was just my feeling on the matter. However, it is a good callback to when in season 1 when he had the opportunity to steal the money from her, and she tested him on purpose and he didn't, so he passed the test.
The only problem is that it might work with her, but it's not going to work with anyone else because everybody thinks he's dead.
He's got to go. He should not be in this town, right?
Yeah, like if Rudy or Charlie finds out that he's back.
Right, or the Baxters, like he just can't be in this city.
It was actually a good outcome that the house just got trashed because, like, in my mind, I thought they'd be like tied up and gagged and just like in the corner somewhere. And
I thought Sheila was going to be dead, and I thought he was going to find the money. I'm actually really surprised that Roderick didn't find the money because I expected
Me too.
Yeah.
Eugene must have just hightailed it out of there.
Yeah, I guess I wonder if he did it before, like without getting the message, or, after little Mo called him.
They're in Houston, right?
Yeah, I don't know how he got there either.
How far away is that from New Orleans?
It's a 5-hour drive, so obviously he did it before he got the message.
Imagine being on a bus for 5 hours with that amount of money. I would have like shat myself.
Yeah.
No.
It was ballsy move of him.
Yep.
As Michael's leaving the party, Frankie stops him and tells him the birthday boy would like a moment of his time. He does compliment him on scrubbing up nicely, which he really does. He looks great at this party.
Yeah.
Then Frankie leads him to a single chair in an empty basement. Never a good sign, kids. He searches him, including the collar stay. So smart move on the search and destroy mission. But again, would have been smarter if you took them both. Then Frankie gives him one solid punch to the gut before Jimmy comes in, asking why he keeps seeing him around his children. I mean, you invite him to the party, dummy.
Yeah.
And then he asks him why he got out of prison early. And Michael comes up with a maybe convincing story. that he was suicidal and they didn't want his blood on their hands. And this story also works to convince Jimmy not to do Michael a solid and just kill him and relieve him of his misery. I genuinely think Michael would have appreciated being shot at this point in the story, but
yeah, I don't think he would have minded.
nah.
He seemed relieved at the end, though, a little bit. So I don't know if he's like, well, he seemed, I don't know, he made this expression. So I'm thinking like, I know we've seen that he's wanted to die since the first episode, but now I'm beginning to think that like maybe because of the baby, but also he basically has no control over his life. You know, in season 1, he was controlling everything, even though the outcomes, obviously he had no control over and they completely fucked him over. But now he has no control. Like he's at the mercy of Olivia, Jimmy, you know, he has a grandson, he's trying to protect Charlie, so he's still pretty much fucked. So
yeah, this whole scene like was probably one of the best shot scenes I think in the entire show. The lighting, the shot of Jimmy like looking on as Frankie is, you know, searching him, the music, everything. It was great.
Really
the
good.
Dialogue, the acting, I could go on.
It's a great scene. It just occurred to me that when you were naming his problems, that he has nothing to do with the Desire Crew or Big Mo, Michael.
True.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
Next episode, something will happen and he'll have someone else to bother him.
Yeah. Interesting.
When Jimmy asks what Michael wants to do with his family, Michael says nothing. And then Jimmy goes on to like list all these things like where he keeps showing up. And then he's like, including the meat delivery van. And I was like, yeah. I'm glad you noticed that.
Yeah.
Didn't you guys think that maybe he was suspicious that he was planted there? Because for a second when he was going through that list, I was like, do they suspect that maybe, you know?
Well, because it goes along with him being let out early. He is suspicious. I think that for now he's accepting Michael's somewhat weak excuse, but he's definitely suspicious.
He pushed in the last episode, you know, when they're talking, and he says that he would have forgiven Adam just to mess with his guilt. Like he knows what he's doing. He's also mentally and emotionally pushing him farther down his depression and his guilt over Adam. So he has the upper hand right now.
Right. But Michael's come out of the depression pretty well, it seems.
I thought it was interesting when Jimmy said that he won't be Michael's executioner. And that just made me think again. I really just think he might have been lying to Frankie about killing Adam.
Nah.
No, I don't.
But obviously it's possible. I like that you think that.
You guys think that he would have killed Adam?
Yep.
I'm still not 100% sure on that. From like my thinking, I don't know. I think he could have easily just killed Michael there. Like, what was the point of not killing him?
He just wants him to suffer, is my opinion.
And I think he also needs him with the whole move that he did with Charlie.
Right. He also can't really kill him because Fia will never forgive him if Michael disappears suddenly, you know?
Yeah. That's something I didn't think about because obviously killing Michael has a lot of repercussions for him that probably would
stay his hand.
Yes.
This scene is an empty threat. I don't think he was ever going to shoot him during the scene because of Fia.
No.
But also, like you said, the picture, everything.
Yeah.
Michael's continued existence benefits Jimmy.
Yeah. And I guess Adam's continued existence wouldn't have benefited him. So maybe you guys are right and he would have just killed him.
We'll never know, will we?
Although I think maybe he would have killed him at the beginning if he'd find out, but I don't know if he would have killed him at the end when we saw in episode 10 of season 1 when, you know, Fia was obviously dating him.
Yeah, I think he would have waited till Fia and he broke up. Maybe even a little bit after that and then probably disposed of him somehow. Yeah,
because I know that you both were not very convinced about their relationship lasting that long.
I did not think that it was a long-term
although
true
with
love
the baby
situation.
Maybe it would have lasted longer.
Yeah, definitely. It had to.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's a wrap on our analysis of season 2, episode 4 of Your Honor. Come back on Monday for our interview with Peter Sollett, director of episodes 1 and 2 and upcoming episodes 5 and 6. We were so excited to have him come chat with us about episodes 1 and 2. So we hope you guys enjoy that. And then episode 5 next week. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Oh, that was perfect. That was the best one we've ever done. Yeah, congratulations, everyone. We've done it.
I'm in Puerto Rican delay. That's awesome.